And to be fair, I can't tell normal graffiti in the real world.
Oh, that actually, if you think about it, this is white base, but painted in neon colors. I didn't realize that for a second. I'm like, this is white base.
Love that. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here for the very first episode of an impronounceable Gundam show that we've all said different things about. I'm going with quux, because as I just told Lessons, I heard somebody else say I think they only put the G on the front to remind you that it's Gundam, and I can pronounce quux. So, we are going to do something that I haven't told Lessons, that I think we need to do at the start of this, because there's a lot of things being said about quux, and I think we need to let you, the viewer, know some things before we get into this. And that is, I think we need to tell the viewer what we know specifically heading into this, but here's the caveat. I don't want to know what you know, and preferably I don't want you to know what I know, in case there's any overlap. So what I'm proposing we do is that I'm going to take my headset off, and you tell the viewer everything you know, in as much time as you need to take. Let them know everything you know about quux going in, and then signal to me when you're done, and then I'll tell them what I know. You know, of course, take your headset off during that point, and I'll signal back to you. Sound good?
Okay.
All right.
You're gonna have to edit this anyway, so
yeah, but I can start from the part and then skip to the end, or to whatever point that I start talking. I can miss this. If I don't want to hear it now, I'm not going to want to hear it later.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Okay. So what do I know about quux? GQuuuuuX. Not really a lot. Yes, I've been spoiled a little bit because when this happens, there's a lot of stuff on social media and stuff like that. Like you get bits and pieces. The way I understand it is that it's an alternate AU of the original Gundam series, except that Amuro either dies or fails to get in the Gundam, and it's Char who captures the Gundam, and then everything flows from that. Don't know more than that. I get the feeling that these kids are basically like a resistance movement against Sion, I think. I'm not really sure. In Munso or somewhere else, I don't know what it is. I don't know where if they get the hands on the original Gundam or another Gundam or whatever. Clearly, one of them. The girl is on the Gundam, or a Gundam. But that's it. That's all I know or can piece together from it. So I get the feeling that this is. So I'm looking forward to it. I have some complaints also that the look of the Gundam is very segmented. It's very 21st century, so it's very segmented and a lot of blocky stuff. I should have put on my face; it's already so ugly. But I like it so far. And it's very skinny Gundam, like kind of thing. Looks more like something out of Macross rather than something out of Gundam. But then we've seen a lot of crossover, especially with Sunrise now working on Macross territory. So who knows? So I'm looking forward to it. So obviously I don't know that much. I am excited because this would be a retelling of the original. So revisiting old characters in new situations. I'm all for it. I do know that Char is in it, or a Char clone. Just shouldn't surprise anybody. But aside from that, I really don't know that much.
Okay, no clue what he said there, but so obviously we watched the trailer together, so I know everything that everything that was said in the trailer. And what I did was that I went back and I did all the research that I typically would have done when we were watching Witch from Mercury, which is to say, read everything that was out there. Interviews, I went to Zionic, I went to all these other places to read what was being released about the story of quux, right? And I got to the point where they start talking about how it is basically an alternative universe to Gundam, right? And they switch off from. I think I got to the point essentially where they say like Char captures the Gundam, right? And that's the whole thing. And at that point, I stopped reading anything to do with anything because I didn't want to spoil anything because the possibility there exists. The information I don't know about the Universal Century could have been spoiled by information about the setting of quux. So, essentially, I know that it is an alternative universe to the timeline of the Universal Century from about the beginning of Mobile Suit Gundam, 1979. After that, the only other thing is, Char is there, Chalia-Bull, because I've seen the art of Chalia-Bull. And then I put blinders on to not be spoiled about anything. So that's everything I know.
Yeah. You said your piece. We said my piece. I'm looking forward to I guess it would be GQuuuuuuX. Weeks.
I'm just going to say quicks. People have a problem. They have a problem. I'm going to say something I can pronounce.
Yeah. But yeah.
Something else I should have mentioned also is obviously we're using our Universal Century overlay because didn't have any foreplanning and my artist is eminently busy on other stuff for the channel, so didn't have the time. And as I understand it, this is only going to be a 12-episode series, so literally they're going to be busy until well after the show is over.
Yep. Look, that's like MS8, 8th MS team, which we're reaching you guys haven't seen it yet, but we're reaching the finale of that soon enough. So
yeah, well, we'll be halfway. We'll be a third of the way through this show by the time we finish 8th MS team.
Yeah.
This will be half the run of Witch from Mercury.
See what happens. So yeah, Witch from Mercury was 24 episodes.
Yeah, the 2 core.
Yeah, standard season system for the streaming services nowadays. 12 to 13 episodes per season.
Should have been longer. But it was designed to be that way from the very beginning. People think it got cut early, but it didn't. Actually, an interview with the writer is that this is exactly the length that he was asked to make. Should have been longer, though.
There'd be more. Probably gotta make a movie or something.
I don't know. Nothing was announced. So, anyway, I cannot think of anything else to go over here. Because literally, we did our whole what do we know thing. And this is an episode 1. So, I guess, unless you have something you want to add.
Nope.
Okay. Let's go ahead and hop on into it.
Before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I'm just gonna say quicks. Starting off with a Zaku. Something else.
Construction?
Now mobile workers look different. I think it's just a different colored Zaku. So yeah, on logo. Side 6.
だからモビルスーツを民間に払い下げることには反対したんだ。構わん。もっと寄せてやれ。でも武器が使えないようにインストーラーデバイスは外してありますよ。
Oh.
当然だ。
He's locked, I guess.
サイド6に文句を入れておけよ。
了解です。連邦軍の廃山兵の食いぶち斡旋でしょう。
Federation forces or remnants.
So I guess Sion won the war.
Yeah. And Side 6 still remained neutral, I guess.
どうしました？
Because this is what you
Oh,
remember
Chala
Chalia Bull looking like, isn't it?
どうしてわかるんです？木星帰りの勘ですか？
間違いない。赤いガンダムです。
So he still goes to Jupiter and comes back.
どこだ？どこ行った？
I wonder if he's still a new type.
Apparently he is, because he detected this guy.
赤いガンダム。
何これ？いたずら？
It's a funny little intro, though, if you consider the incident that set everything off in Origin.
Mhm.
The Federation cruiser that wouldn't get out of the way and then ends up crashing.
Oh. Yeah. So this is a modernized Gundam because they have like deli eats, they have cell phones, right?
Maybe it's implying things would have been better under under Zeon rule. Kicked in the head. How do you like that?
Not for her though.
直径 6.4km のスペースコロニーは 113.5 秒に1回回転し 1G の遠心力を生み出している。
Okay.
私たちを地面に押し付けているこの力は本物の重力じゃない。空は頭の上じゃなく足の下にあるんだ。コロニー生まれの私たちは本物の重力も本物の空も知らない。
Hey, Giran. Actually, it's more like Zeon. She didn't say anything overtly racist, so it's not Giran.
本物の海も。
Yeah.
Although technically, should still be alive, right? If Chalia Bull is alive, I have to imagine Giran's
so.
alive.
Yeah. Oh, that looks familiar.
まさか爆弾じゃないよ
Mm.
ね。
It's a hard drive.
I would say it looks like a hard drive, but ironically, it
Literally, it's
also
a hard
looks
drive.
like
Yeah.
the thing Amuro's dad hands to him from the junkyard.
インストーラーデバイス
Yeah.
モビルスーツの戦闘コンピューター用非合法の密輸品だ。
So it's the key that would allow a Gundam or a mobile suit to use a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Also a battle computer.
Ooh, I like the look of the. Yeah.
And to be fair, I can't tell normal graffiti in the real world.
Oh, that actually, if you think about it, this is white base, but painted in neon colors. I didn't realize that for a second.
Ah.
This is white base.
Love that.
どうせこいつも偽物ですよ。
小森少尉も知っているでしょう。大佐の出自を。
ジオン大君の忘れがたみって噂ですよね。中佐のご友人っていうか、マブだったとは聞いていますが、都市伝説の大佐。
Char?
自分は信じません。
しかし、
Family.
キシリア閣下はそう思っていない。
Well, Caecilia's still
Oh, Her
around.
Excellency Cassidy. Oh, so well, she seems to be in charge there.
The Gundam GQuuuuuX.
Yeah.
オメガサイコミの起動デバイスを使用します。
Psychomo, we still developed Psycho.
グラナダの承認がありません。
新型モビルスーツはサイコミの不使用を条件に借り出したはずでは。オメガサイコミはまだ一度も実
The idea that Chalia Bull and Char are friends.
万が一暴走してゼクノバを起こしたら。
Hmm?
その時は
Yeah. So this is an out. Like I was.
Yeah, don't
This
go
is
into what you
clearly an
know.
alternate.
Admiral
Vice Admiral
McQueeve, McQueve's still alive.
Yeah.
赤いガンダムを止められるのは
I guess to be fair, Kycelia did know who Char really was, and now it's just out there knowledge.
オメガは特殊なサイコミです。僕に使いこなせますか。少尉はフラナガンスクール主席の才能と伺っています。
Oh, man, we're just
Is that
going
the
into
school
everything.
that,
Yeah, the Flanagan school is where Lala went.
yeah.
We're just going into everything.
いや、よろしくと言われても、僕はこれが初陣なんですよ。
Probably your last too, if it's against Char.
No, because they're testing a Saikamu, which
Oh,
means...
Nitai's are here too.
You have to imagine
Gquuuuuux.
that the characters of the show are characters that would have been dead in the Universal Century. Because these are all like the people who would have been recruits being killed in the war.
Yeah.
So she put a tracking device on her hard drive.
Of course. Makes sense. I like the music. You really... Oh, is that a Discman? No, that's not a Discman. That's her backpack.
Yeah, again, it just got stolen while you were looking away.
Ah.
民間のモビルスーツでも武器が使えるようになるってやばいやつ。
Oh,
It's a game of
we're gonna have a fight
one-upsmanship.
in our hands.
That's not how that works. I don't think there's anybody in the world who could throw a thing as hard as they can and then run and catch up with it.
賞金をかけてモビルスーツでバトルするクランバトル違法だってのに随分流行ってるね。
Uh-oh. Meet cute. A new Suella... What was her other name? Sueta? And what was the other name of the girl?
Sueletta, Bjorn.
これ弁償したよね。
Sueta? Oh.
I literally just said both names for you. I don't know what else you want.
丸見えじゃないか。隠れようともして。
Cool, but why did we also cut all these stones into squares?
本当に赤いガンダムなのか。停戦信号は無視ならやるしかない。オメガサイコミ起動。
It is interesting that they won the war, but they still kept developing all these weapons technologies.
トーブバルカン、それにビット。こいつ本物のガンダムだ。なのに
Bits. We're calling them bits.
ロックが外れない。なんで起動しないんだ。くそ。
I think this is a destroyed colony.
No,
No.
I don't
this
think
is
so.
Something else. I don't know what it is.
But I assume this is outside side 6.
でもさっき警察にあいつら難民だけは目ざとく見つけるんだ。
It's also funny to think that Xian is maintaining the peace.
こんなところにあるんだ。
I mean, they won, right? So,
クラバなんてまともなやつはやらない。
so she lacks
fearless.
confidence.
急ぎですか。
That's a tiny little door. Well, it's
No,
not
they're
tiny,
just
but
really
it's
tall
like,
children.
You know, not very wide. Yeah.
ごめんください。ん？
冗談じゃねえ。こっちまで巻き添え食らうとこだったんだぞ、てめえ。
アンキー、こいつです。駅で軍警に追いかけられてた。まだ子供じゃん。
Not a fan of the Haru with the headpiece.
が札に見つかってんじゃねえぞ。
それに直接来られて
Didn't notice that.
でも今日中に受け取り希望って。
You didn't notice the Haru with a beanie?
先払いしてんだから当然でしょ。
No.
てめえは誰なんだ？
ああ、付き添いっていう。
That's a
こう
Cat.
マブっていうか。マブ？うん。これ。
Like, yeah, a cat that barks?
こいつさえありゃバトル
Yeah.
できる。
Guess it is.
Some cats are weird.
お宅の
My mother once had a dog that pretended it was a
そ
cat.
っちの制服
What is it?
本物じゃないだろ。
Mm.
あんたクランバトルに興味あんのかい？
子供相手にな。
See it that time?
おい、勝手に動くな。
Haru with a beanie?
空って自由
Yeah,
ですか？
I like it.
I think it was dumb. I feel like it's pandering. I'm not sure to who though.
I mean, it's supposed to be for new.
You know, I'm gonna be taking a screenshot of that board to see if I can decipher the names on it.
Yeah.
Great. Now we're all losing oxygen. And yeah, that
Yes,
that does show this is outside side 6.
Mhm.
どっちもガンダムじゃないのか。
ガンダム？
ここでビームを使うほど無法者じゃないか。しかし。
We didn't have to. We got bits.
I mean, he was part of Theon.
もっと反応できるのに。
Yeah, but the beats fire beams, so they will destroy.
Yeah, but the bits have more controllable.
動かないのか。
Not some massive beam. I'm starting to think this guy is not a new type.
Who?
The guy in the quicks. Because I don't know otherwise
The
why
one
he wouldn't be able
controlling
to
the red-
activate the Saikamu system.
Maybe because the drive that got stolen is his drive.
No, he plugged it one
We don't know
in.
where the drive comes from.
He plugged his in.
Yeah, but he got a fake drive. They swapped it. Yeah, but if they swapped it, it would be the wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not information we have.
You know, it's fake, and
無理させすぎた。
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's not information we have.
まずいな。軍警が来る。
Who cares if the MPs are coming? You're actively doing this under authority. And
yeah,
that's
but
when
remember
we
the
all
site
fell
is
to Agent
す
Orange.
いません。
この辺りには地下の整備用トンネルへ降りるリフトがあるはずだ。
建物の中だとわかんないっす。
Ah, there we go. Back to classic Xeon.
yeah, these guys don't give a shit. Well, they're not Theon. Remember, they have
Oh,
different
illegal
signs, so I
buildings.
guess
They
that's a
don't
symbol
care.
for
They just said they're illegal
Type 6.
buildings.
yeah.
ジオンが戦争に勝ったってスペースノイドは自由になれない。いつまで経っても苦しいままだ。まずい、ザクを隠せ。
隠せったって。
Space Knights will never be free, even under Xeon control.
軍系とやり合うバカがいるか。
そもそもデバイスが壊れ
Because it says Theon was a dictatorship, so
I'm
You know.
repeating what they're saying. I'm not
they
having
went
a
from the Federation being the dictatorship. Yeah.
I'm not having a philosophical debate with you. I'm just repeating what they said.
たくよ。アンキーも無茶言うぜ。どこに隠れりゃいいんだよ。わあ！おい、何なんだ。
どこ？
あ？
Why is the Haru following her around?
邪魔してんじゃねえぞ。早く逃
So they're going through buildings, but they care enough about the gate to lift it up and crawl under.
Yeah, well, these guys, not the guys who are tearing up the.
These are the
refugee
MPs.
town.
No, these are the MPs. The ones that were
No,
tearing
no,
up the illegal
no,
buildings.
this-
It was.
the-
It literally was.
No,
Also-
the
also
person,
argue with
who
me
was
after.
lifting was not them. It was that. Yeah.
今は使われていない整備用トンネル。一応機密はあるみたいだけど、ここなら隠した。
Doesn't matter, baby. Airtight. You ran through the building. On the side. You ran through the side.
なんだありゃ赤いのじゃない。見たことないやつです。マルモに接触した未確認のモビルスーツかもしれん。あのパイロットスーツ。おい、シオンがコソコソと何してんだ。
まあ待てよ。サイド6とはお仲間だろう。
Technically, it's true.
やめろ。こいつに勝手に触れるな。
I don't know where Side 6 military police gets off thinking they can push Xeon around.
あっちの方が強そうじゃない。
I mean, technically, it's their territory. They can push Sion out. How long can they do that and survive? That's a different story.
That's what I'm saying. Don't do that then. You can't. But then again, I
Yeah,
guess
but
if
these
Xeon,
guys
if
are
Xeon hasn't
morons,
done
you know,
anything that they've done in the past, then maybe they don't have that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was like literally the trailer moment, so I couldn't talk over
Oh.
that.
ロック。
Yeah. Oh.
See, she didn't plug anything new in. But I just don't
So it
think
wasn't
the other
proper-
guy was a new type.
I mean, he's supposed to be trained like a new type, so
Doesn't mean
has
he
to
is
be. Maybe
one.
it's not properly calibrated to him.
手のひら。
He did have the flash early on, so
動き出した。なんで動くんだ。
And of course, everybody knows I won't really hear the music until I listen to it later.
yeah.
オメガサイコムの起動シグナル受信。
エグザベ君
See?
すごいじゃん。
Other dude couldn't activate it.
立っちゃった。武器は
I guess he doesn't. Talking like a cop. Are you
Well,
gonna resist?
he is
yeah,
a
okay,
cop.
yes, I am.
I mean, he is a cop.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess they built in safety measures. Instead of going nuclear, it just
Yeah.
shuts down.
I guess the
もう俺のマブを。
oops,
Put your helmet back on.
dude, you have a helmet. Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, also running and blazing. So I guess Char now is a rebel against Sion, right?
We don't know what he's up to.
素人か。無駄な抵抗しやがって。空に散れ。
I do like the inclusion that the Gux has a heat axe. Because it's clearly Xeon.
No, she grabbed it from the floor. That was what
no,
belonged
he dropped
to the,
it.
Yeah.
I'm saying the G-Cux had a heat axe. He dropped it. The other guy.
何これ。
Oh, Lala. Now we have Lala in.
Could be.
誰。さっきの。赤いやつ。よくわかんないけど。なんかわかった。
I Spider Gundam.
こいつらもマブなのか。
What are the maps?
I'm assuming Mavericks.
Yeah.
Classic Mega Man terminology.
Mhm.
And
Oh, it
that's
goes
why
as
you
final,
pay extra for energy today.
Yeah.
つけちゃった誰なのあいつモビルスーツ接近中
ガンダムです来ます
I mean, we already covered that Char is apparently a friend of Chalia's, so...
誰だ
Wait, so he's not the captain. He says is not what's his name? Char. So
What's his name?
what Char's supposed to be? I just blanked out on the name.
Yeah, blanked out on Char, the most famous Gundam
Yeah.
character of all time. Well, the end credits.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I
Very
like it.
colorful.
I like it because I like it mostly for the element that we started watching Universal Century, and it's essentially
Mhm.
calling back to everything that we've learned so far.
So I guess they're become girlfriends then, living together.
I mean, just because you live together doesn't mean anything. I mean,
Yeah, but
obviously,
I
it's
mean-
probably where
oh,
the sites
I-
go. It's probably where it's going. I'm just saying it doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything. You're
Mm.
you're reading into things further. Like,
Yes.
legit.
I like the fact that the what's the Harukin ears are speakers.
Nah. I just don't like the beanie.
I like it.
It's pointless. I mean,
I don't care.
I know. You've indicated as much
it-
3 times now.
I think it's pretty cool.
I don't think it's cool at all. In fact, I don't understand how it stays on it.
The same way it stays, beanie stays in your head. It has an elastic band.
You understand that your
brings up-
head typically has like grip mechanics involved, right? Sorry, next time on.
連邦軍のモビルスーツガンダムが立ち上がった伝説の英雄赤い彗星のシャアを乗せて次回白いガンダム赤いの白いのどっちなの
Alright, so next time we get Char.
Mm.
No, my point was that you have hair, your head's not a perfectly round shape. If your head is perfectly round, then you've got other things to be concerned about. The Haru is a metallic, perfectly round surface. So, the thing should, if you ever put you ever seen Darrow Brian?
Yeah.
You ever see, where he puts the, rubber bands around his head?
Oh no,
He's got a roundish head. He puts rubber bands around it because he's doing a Taskmaster challenge, which is do something very stupid. So he just puts a bunch of rubber bands and squeezes his head a little bit, and boop, 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 they just all pop off the top of his head. Because the rounder it is, the less something has the surface tension to just grip on it. So that thing should just squeeze up and fall off of it. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh well, he's not deliberately squeezing it, so
I just don't like the visual of it. It looks dumb.
yeah, I don't know.
I know.
Hmm.
I'm not
But you
asking
keep saying
for.
it's stupid.
Yeah, I know. I'm
And
saying
yeah,
it looks dumb to me, and then you like, I don't look dumb to me. I'm not asking for a debate. I'm just giving my visual interpretation. Like, I don't have a problem with anything else. Well, maybe I have a problem with Chalia Bull, but that's
Too
all.
young?
Well, yeah, I guess maybe he could be dyeing his hair and whatnot. He just doesn't look like Chalia Bull. Like, what's the time frame here? I don't know where we're at in the
If it's a 1 year war, then he's at the after the
Well, I mean, it
Probably
doesn't matter because he looked
0080.
older in the 1 year war than he does now.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, what's the time span now? Is this like 10 years after the 1 year war? Is this in the 1 year war? I mean, in the time frame of the 1 year war? Where
I
are
think
we
it's
at?
probably a year. So at least 0080 or 82.
See,
Because the Psycho Mumu system has been, well, Unless the war lasted more shorter.
Well, that was in
And
development
CN1
during the 1 year war, though. Like,
Yeah.
we actually saw that a couple of times in the 1 year war.
Yeah. And the bit were something that was developed in the late war as well. So,
Yeah, I mean, that was Lala stuff. Well, I can't remember the name of the unit. But,
yeah,
you know,
it's
like I
Psycho
said,
movie.
the indication here is that this is towards the end of what would have been the 1 year war. Then these are all recruits that would have been fucking dead. We're seeing people that have now a chance to live that didn't before.
Well, alternate reality, alternate universe.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm just saying. That's the thing I typically say to you. Not to you. To all. Sorry, I'm floundering here. I just had a conversation with Ray the other day because we were talking about the possibility of reacting to Record of the Lotus War, and I was telling him the thing that I typically say to all new co-hosts here on the channel, which is say the obvious thing out loud. Because if you don't say it out loud, the audience is going to think that you missed it or didn't see or don't know, right? So that's what I meant to say is all I'm doing right now is I'm saying the obvious part out loud. That these are people who may have been there for the Giran speech in a different reality at the very end in defense of the Zeon homeland that went out and died. And now we're getting to see what those people might have been like had they not been in that reality. Obviously, going to come back for the next episode of this with a lot of notes. Well, as many as I can possibly think of, because again, it's all callbacks, right? And unlike, I think, with most people watching this, we're not that separated from how long ago it was that we were watching Mobile Suit Gundam.
I mean, we're still watching UC stuff, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're still technically in the 1 year war, but I just mean that all of the references I recognized from that were from Mobile Suit Gundam, 1979, which I'm saying is we're not that far away from in our reactions to Universal Century. So that's a lot of stuff that I'm going to be like, oh, he's referencing this, he's referencing that, you know, to try and then figure out where we're at. As per the what do we know thing. Obviously, I don't know what you know, and preferably you don't know what I know. So,
well, I didn't know the white base fell into the Sion's hand, and now it has Sion colors. That's something.
I mean, neither did I. I was equally surprised because I didn't recognize it until you said it, and you were saying it when we were looking at the not the inside of the bridge, but the panning shot of the bridge going by. You said that's white base. I was like, that is kind of like the top bridge part of the white base. And then, of course, all the other scenes we saw coming after it. And it's like, that is the white base. It's like, huh, cool, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what that portends to all the characters that we knew. Like, is Amuro dead? Is Bright dead? I mean, actually, now that I think about it, the chances seem more likely to me that they're part of MAV. If they're not outright dead, well, sorry, I'm trying to think how the term to use here. If Amuro didn't get the Gundam, then he probably didn't send his dad flying out into space, which means that if he's still alive, he's probably not limited. I don't know what the word I'm supposed to use now is.
Injured, let's call him that. He didn't get injured.
He's not disabled.
Yes.
So, but is he still, like I said, there's that will, literally we saw it on the next time on. It looks like Char goes running up to the Gundam.
But that's where Amuro's dad was with someone else.
Yeah, but also Amuro was there. But to the scene that happens, does that imply that Amuro gets killed with Ha?
The refugees?
Sorry, Fra. God damn it, Seed. I can't remember characters' names now because of you.
Fra.
Yeah, sorry. Fra and Ha are so closely named.
Fra's grandparents, grandfather and mother.
Yeah, but does that mean that Amuro may have been just closer to that explosion and died there, and that's why he didn't get there? Or, or that the tow cable missile hits him near the opening where it didn't before?
Or it could simply mean that this guy didn't jump the gun, so waited for chart to get there, and they properly did the thing as opposed to
Yeah,
remember because the
it's
whole
fair.
thing happens because he jumped the gun. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be like Captain Char. Lieutenant Char, I think. I'm gonna be hero, blah blah, and he screws everything because he starts shooting, and everybody goes into a panic. And
Ironically, the only one I
yeah.
can remember the name of is the guy who survives, which is Denim, who's the guy
Denim, yeah.
who doesn't go into it and stays back and watches. So the
Yeah.
only one I can remember is the one who's not guilty of it. What's the other one? Slender and what's the third name for Pants? They're all named Pants.
Trousers.
No, I can't.
Trousers are
Obviously,
the
I
other
could
way,
open up the board. See, what I was thinking about doing board wise is just putting this on the UC Gundam board and just off to the side.
Yeah.
It is an AU. I mean, but yeah, no. I guess that could explain it. That he just sneaks in because they don't ruin the plan.
Because there was also the reconnaissance. They sneak in. It's like, wait for Captain Charge. I was like, oh, cover me while I get the Gundam, and he just gets off.
I mean, at the same point, then Amuro would just be a nobody.
Yeah,
he wouldn't go through all the experience. Like, he'd still be a new type. He just wouldn't have the thing because he's not gone through everything that like activated the powers and whatnot.
Well, if he hooks up with his dad and his dad starts making Gundams in secret somewhere, then perhaps he's the one who's like, I don't have any pilots. Son, Tag, you're it. Can
I
you
don't know
try
why
this for
he
me?
would. I don't know why he would tag his son out of nobody. Like, I don't have any pilots. I think he would rather get some rando off the street than your son.
Somebody he trusts.
Remember, this is the guy who's talking about child soldiers on the battlefield, and I'm going to make sure that my son isn't in that world.
But remember also, especially based on Origins, that he had been studying the designs of the Gundam for a while, not just when he got the manual. He had been like, oh, so maybe he's like, Dad, I know what this is about. And he starts talking about it. He's like, how the hell you know that? Oh, I peeked on your secret compartment thing.
I think that leans more towards the Amuro is a better engineer argument that we kept having during Mobile Suit Gundam. That Amuro would be helping his dad making the Gundam, not piloting the Gundam.
This is somebody else,
Yeah. Because again, I don't think Tem, I couldn't remember his name for a long time, Tem would be down for having his son pilot the Gundam. I mean, at the same time, Tem might just, have given up.
True.
Because if he doesn't want his son fighting in the war, then post Zeon victory, there is no war.
Yeah.
Amuro doesn't have to fight. Technically achieving what Tem wanted without Tem doing anything.
But clearly the person it's interesting because the person in the red Gundam, and it's a Gundam, it's not Char, according to what's his name says, Shia LaBeouf says in the end, but he is a new type.
I'm gonna have to rewatch it because my interpretation is that he may have been talking about the quux, the GQuuuuuX.
No, but the one that passes by is a red Gundam.
I understand. I know what you're saying. My interpretation of the scene could read the other way, though. As I said, I'm not going to argue with what our interpretation is right now. I'm going to wait until I rewatch the episode and I can pause. I'm going to be doing so much fucking pausing. I think I was literally going back to the conversation I was having with Ray. I was telling him, I think reaction content is like 10% of what I do. Because even rewatching the episodes, if the episode's 24 minutes long, I think I might spend like an hour plus rewatching and taking notes on every episode. So I spend way more time editing, rewatching, taking notes than I ever do in the part you all are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I don't know how much of a behind the voice actors there is for this yet, that I'm going to be like maybe having to screenshot every character to make a board thing for them.
So pretty cool designs, pretty cool situation. I like that it starts in Site 6. We have underground mech fights. We have arms control.
What's her name? The one who I kept thinking was going to be in love with Bright, but apparently not. The one who falls in love with Slugger.
What's her name? The daughter of the Yeah,
politician
I know
slash
what you're talking-
businessman.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, her ex-fiance.
It's in Side 6. It's one.
Yeah.
He was the prosecutor of Side 6.
Well, also the son
Right,
of the guy who runs the place.
yeah.
But the idea being that without that experience during the war, I guess he turns into a real asshole. Because he'd still be here. There's no reason why he wouldn't have been here, because he goes here at the start of the war.
Yeah.
So he's still here. And these people, Side 6, without the war, seem to be real assholes. Like, remember, they said this is an illegal township construction building. That's why they had no problem, tearing it up. But, I mean, that means essentially these are the police tearing down homeless shelters. Or homeless encampments.
Because these are refugees from other sides had been destroyed, or even from Earth.
That's not indicated. I mean, it's very much clear that these are people that are anti the situation. But the only only conversation we got about refugees and whatnot, not even refugees, former Federation soldiers, was the Charlie Bull thing Charlie Bull talking to or being talked at from his command staff outside in the White Base. Nobody inside 6 references anything about refugees or anything.
No, I think what's her name, the main character. They were talking when they were going to this, like, oh yeah, no, they're refugees here. These are refugees, which is they're from other sides probably.
Again, rewatch stuff again. It's too much.
Yeah.
There was too much here. This was too jam packed. That's the thing that I like most about this right now is the world building, because it's. There's an element here of it being an AU that it's world building on stuff that we're actively currently taking notes about in other shows. So hopefully this isn't do the seed thing where people are inspired by a thing and just becomes very confusing.
Yeah.
You know, as I just did with Fra and Haw. I guess it is actually getting more confusing because instead of being closely named and associated characters, this is just going to be an alternative version of those characters. It's not going to be Fra and Haw. It's going to be Fra and Fra.
If they're alive, if any of them are alive.
Well, they did the operation. To what you were saying, they did the operation without the mistakes or whatever that guy going off of his own, right?
Yeah.
So conceivably, they didn't launch this massive attack. Well, maybe they did. They would still have to get the attack off because
there were other prototypes and other things that they got destroyed.
Well, more specifically, the first attack, they killed all of the defense forces of the colony on Side 7. So if they just ran in, they'd still have to deal with the defense forces.
Yeah.
But maybe they don't kill the civilians, I guess.
No evacuation orders given because they don't believe they're under attack.
Well, they also wouldn't have blown giant holes into it, maybe.
No, wait a minute. The evacuation order was already in process, so that's not true. That's not true at all.
Oh, yeah, because there was Xeon ships in the area, so they were doing the evacuation order, which is weird because we know there's 20,000 people, or at least there was before everything.
Well, they were trying to evacuate because they already know the track record of Xeon of gassing entire colonies, so it's like, if we stay here, we're dead,
That's what I'm saying about the military police of Side 6 apparently having no fear when it comes to pushing Xeon around. That maybe Xeon didn't do the things it's known for being guilty of in this version of the timeline.
Yeah.
Although, what you just pointed out, the whole gassing colonies thing, that would still have happened before Char would have taken the Gundam. So if the timeline only changes from Char taking the Gundam, that means they're still guilty of Operation British.
Probably that's how they won the combination Operation British and taking the Gundam and the White Base, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying if the timeline, if the divergence point is literally Episode 1, Mobile Suit Gundam, then everything, technically Origin, people will have entire debates. We consider it to be canon. It means that everything that we saw depicted in Origin happened. So,
as far as this is concerned,
that'd be to our knowledge, right? Which is more like sand than it is stone at the moment. So, So if the divergence point is only episode 1 Mobile Suit Gundam, that still implies that they do Operation British and it's as unsuccessful as it was the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I could see a world where Operation British was successful, and that really just kills the Federation leadership from the top down.
Yeah.
And then the theft of the Gundam is the last demoralizing factor.
They surrendered.
That's the last hope we had, and then they stole it.
Yeah, because the Gundam, they can make the GMs, which is what really allows them to stand up to at least the Sakus, right, in large numbers, right? They don't have the Gundam is important, but it's also the basis of the entire mobile suit line that comes after. So,
and conversely, it then allows the Zeons to make better
Gundams, make their own Gundams.
Yeah, as I said, they seem to be calling everything Gundams right now. So
yeah.
So instead of the Federation being able to come out with a bunch of their own mobile suits to counteract the already existing Zeon
Takus and Goose and everything.
Yeah, my brain had a whole series of words all queued up to come out of my mouth, and it just stopped giving me those words.
Yeah. And also, I mean, it also means that the Zeon doesn't waste their time on like gigantic mobile armors and stuff like that. I mean, they may have a few of them experimentally, but they can concentrate on.
As per our conversation in 8th MS Team, that thing would already be in development. That thing is already on Earth. That thing should be on Earth right now. And the counter to that is that the 8th MS Team doesn't exist. Because those are Gundam types of their own. So they couldn't have been made. It depends on, again, the Amuro Tem situation. If they're still alive and if the Mavs are what we think they might be, they could be developing stuff, but there wouldn't be this whole military thing backing them up. So
no, it would be underground movement,
Although technically Side 2 could still exist, so Shiro's, it does, I keep forgetting. Sorry, this is actually a note that I have for a future episode, so I'm going to spoil this a little bit now.
Yeah.
Future recording of 8th MS Team, where I realized I fucked it all up, that I keep forgetting that Side 2 is Hayate, or Hate, rather, and that is Island Iffish. So his flashbacks to Side 2 are of Island Iffish. So I keep fucking that up, and I have so many references that I kept saying during our last reaction to 8th MS Team, where I keep just separating in my head Side 2 and Hate. So technically, Shiro's backstory should still be the same.
Yeah. But maybe he didn't escape in time. I mean, he had a suit, so he could have survived.
Well, he should still escape. Again, if the divergence point is first episode Mobile Suit Gundam, then Shiro should still be alive. Well, he should still have escaped that situation. Because there's no reason to suspect anything else has changed up until that point.
Yeah.
So he should still be out there and around, but, he's not a Federation soldier anymore because the Federation lost.
Yeah.
The bums lose. The bums always lose.
Very interesting stuff.
Well, yeah, again, it just launches you off onto this whole what-if scenario. So now I need more information on the lore and the world building to know what the what-if is. Anyway, final thought?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how I want to see the divergence. Now I'm primed to see exactly how, is it divergence? I don't know, maybe we do get a Amuro getting blown to bits death scene and we get Tem being arrested or driven off or whatever, right? I want to see what happens. I really, really want to see what happens. If for no other reason, even the rest of the series is like, I really want to know what they were trying to do with the divergence, But but for a kingdom for a horse? Is that just no? That's not the.
And they couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Yeah, but for this, things would have been different. Yeah.
Yeah, my final thought has to be that I hope that we don't spend all 12 episodes inside 6. There's too much of a alternative universe here to explore. I want to see what Earth is like. I want to see if the other sides are still here, right? I want to know what's going on everywhere now. You've introduced way too much that's way too interesting that I just want to know everywhere. I want to see everything. Like, to what we talked about, if Origin happened exactly the same and Operation British happened, is Earth still the same? Did Operation British happen? I want to see it all. So, yeah, that's my final thought there. So, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?